Let's talk about how to fail at online dating. Oh, we're laughing, but people actually do this to,
I know.
Thank you so much for joining us on Second Act TV. I want to welcome back Sandy Weiner, the dating coach and relationship expert, the founder of Last First Date, and the author of Choice Points in Dating. Sandy, you've done it all. Thanks for being here again.
Thank you so much for having me back, Silka.
Well, Sandy, on the show, we have talked so much about how to be successful at online dating, what to do, what not to do, etc. Just to make it successful. A lot of people, there's pushback, it won't work, online dating is horrible. So, okay, let's go with them. Let's talk about how to fail at online dating. you
Let's.
Yes, you wrote an article here that it had me cracking up. How did you come up with this idea?
Well, I think just like you, I talk till I'm blue in the face about all the
Mm-hmm.
ways to succeed at dating and all the ways that we need to work on ourselves. And I was like, I got to do something tongue in cheek because sometimes when you do the opposite, people pay attention.
Yeah, yeah. We'll focus on the negative. Let's see how that works.
All right.
Number one here, so funny. Make sure you post bad photos. Tell
Or
me
no
what you.
photo at all. I
Oh,
mean,
no
that's
photo
even
at all. Yeah,
better.
yeah.
Yeah, post pictures from when you were 20 years ago. Post pictures of you with a different hair color, or like for guys, bald head, hair. Picture of you as a baby with your mother. Post a picture of you when you were much thinner. Blurry photos. Post pictures of you with a group of people where nobody can
Mm-hmm.
tell who you are. It's like, where's Waldo? You really want people
Yes.
to have to work really hard to figure out who you are so that they will never know who you are when they meet you.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. This is just like the girl who ran off a guy in 10 days or something.
Oh, yeah, how to
Just
lose a guy
doing,
in 10 days.
yeah, whatever. Yeah, perfect. Well, and you have 10 things here, so we'll go along with that. Oh, yeah, and complain a lot. You say here, write about everything you don't want.
I mean, this is a joke, but
Mhm.
there are so many profiles that say, I don't want any drama. I don't want angry people. If you've ever done this, don't apply.
Mhm.
Don't be married. Don't do this. Look like your photo. Let them know what you hate so they'll know that you have standards. Like, I really think that people think like, oh, if I tell them all the things I hate, they're going to respect me more.
It's funny because just like you said, I mean, I saw that 12 years ago when I was online dating. This checklist, don't do this, don't do that. And it's like, what? Pass. That's a big red flag, but that's for another video.
Yeah.
Oh, and be sarcastic, just like we are right now.
Yeah, people love passive aggressive humor.
Yeah.
People love, I mean, it comes across so well on a piece
Yeah.
of paper that you're reading. It's not paper, it's online, but be really sarcastic about what you're looking for. And, I think that this is a real issue with humor because it doesn't translate well. But yeah,
Mhm.
be really sarcastic because, I
Yeah.
like sarcasm. Now, I do like sarcasm. I like sarcasm with close friends and people I know,
Mhm.
but when you don't know somebody,
Yeah.
you don't know if they're being sarcastic or not.
Yeah, I have a super dry sense of humor. I'll say things with a really straight face, and to me, it's like, isn't it obvious that I'm just kidding? And then so yeah, especially when you first get to know someone, you have to really be
Yeah.
careful with the sarcasm, or put it out
Hmm.
there. Then you'll fail for good.
You're
Oh,
right.
don't don't complete your profile writing or write, and I saw this actually too, and I'm sure that's where you saw it a million times. Oh, I'll get to this later, or I'm just looking.
Yeah. People put that all the time. Like,
Mm-hmm.
just starting out, I'll get back to this, you know, that speaks volumes about your commitment to finding love, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So you put that there and you will definitely, you'll fail. I don't think you're going to get a whole lot of, hits on your profile when it's like that.
Nope.
Overshare, my goodness, we talk about that over and over and over again. So make sure you overshare on starting with your profile.
Start with your profile, and then if you make it to a phone call, make sure to tell them about your kidney stones and your diabetes and your fake leg and everything, because people really want to know about all of that before they meet you.
Well, and your ex,
Oh
absolutely,
yeah.
bitch about your ex just right up front so they know you're over them.
Yep,
So
and your
that
eating disorder
yeah.
and your father who left you. Those are all really important. Put it in your profile. Really
Yeah.
important.
Oh, we're laughing, but people actually do this to
I
to one
know.
degree or another. Okay. Oh, here another good one. Discuss religion, politics, and sex. Some on one of those three, you got to be able to fail.
Right. So I had a guy who did all three one date. He showed up late to the date. He had already eaten breakfast and was taking me out for brunch. So he wasn't hungry. He just watched me eat. I was like, I'm eating anyway. And then he started talking about religion, politics, and sex. I'm like, wow, it's a trifecta.
Yeah, those topics are, well, again, this is about how to fail. So you put that there. You don't believe it works. Here's another way you can prove that online dating doesn't work. Start
Yes.
talking about sex, politics, and religion. Don't respond to messages. After all, why be, just be rude.
Just be rude. If people are interested in you, they're going to write you again, not.
Mm-hmm.
So lots of people leave messages in their inbox and don't respond to people. So that's a sure way to fail.
Yeah. And what, I guess if you don't want to respond, I mean, I guess it depends on what the message says, but that's almost hard for me to believe that you just, anyway, again, we're back to failing. So yeah, I mean, you're on there, you wrote your profile, people are sending you messages, don't answer. Just don't answer.
Yeah. And you're right. There are people who you shouldn't answer.
Yeah.
There are people who are a terrible match or who just write one word. I had a guy recently say, "What dress size are you?" I'm not answering that. but but if a person writes a sincere message,
Mhm.
make sure to ignore them.
Make sure to ignore them because that possibly can't go anywhere. This is interesting. Don't tell people you're not a good match.
Yeah. So if people, especially if you've been on a first date, so you
Mm-hmm.
don't have to say anything to people if they reach out to you, you don't really like them. But yeah, you didn't like the first date, you just block and unmatch them because why do you have to be kind? Just don't give people feedback, just ghost them.
Yep. That's again, a wonderful way to fail, as well as keep feeding that mindset that it's not going to work. So
Yeah.
that's a great tip. Oh yeah, send one word messages. Make sure you start off with just, hey.
Yeah. Hey, what's up? You up?
Oh,
Really put a lot of effort in there because, a lot of online dating is just a waste of energy. So why waste your energy? Just conserve it.
I want to just ask you on this one. This is mostly men that do this, I think, or at least I found. Of course, I wasn't trying to date women. Do you think that goes both ways? And I want to give the men a benefit of the doubt for just 1 second. Was it hard enough just to send that hey, let alone try to figure out what to say?
Yeah, so I think it does. I mean, again, I'm a woman dating men, so
Mm-hmm.
I see this a lot. Hi, beautiful. Hey, hi. I think that for a lot of people, it takes courage to write to a woman, especially if they feel that they're out of their league or they've been
Mm-hmm.
rejected a lot. But it doesn't connect. And so it's
Mm-hmm.
just the same as the cut and paste messages. I didn't put that in my list,
Yeah.
but send those cut and
Make
paste.
sure.
Everybody gets the same message. Make sure to send those. because it's so obvious that you cut and pasted that message and that you're sending the same thing to everyone. And
Right.
they're sent with the right intention. I think people are so afraid of getting hurt that they do all these things, but we could talk about that when we're done with the list, because I think that there are reasons why people do what they do.
Yeah. The last one here, this is great too. Great tip. Fight with people who aren't interested in you.
Yeah. I mean, you need to let them know that they were wrong for not giving you a second chance. There was a woman who was in one of my classes who was like, I think we're a good match. So even though he told me that he didn't want to date me, I want to date him. So I'm going to convince him that he's wrong. And I used to do this, I used to try to school people,
Mm-hmm.
or there was a guy once who sent me a really nasty message, because I wasn't interested in dating him. And he got on his high horse about my parents taught me the golden rule, treat people the way you want to be treated. All I said is, I don't think we're a good match, but he was schooling me. And man, if we ever
Yeah.
had a chance of going out, he ruined it, even more by doing that. So our job isn't to fight with people or to convince them of anything, And so, yes, this is all tongue in cheek. I think that people are really uninformed. They don't realize that
Mm-hmm.
they're doing things that are sabotaging
Mm-hmm.
their relationships and their ability to have success. If you don't fill out your profile and just say, just looking, or I'll get back to this, and then you never do, maybe you think you're a loser if you're online dating, and people write that too, and
Mm-hmm.
so when you
Mm-hmm.
start to recognize, and of course we're laughing at all this, but
Mm-hmm.
they all happen and they're
Yeah.
all true, and it's a
Yep.
majority of the profiles, it's not one or two. And so I hope that people take this in the right light, that we aren't laughing at people. We are
Right.
laughing that people actually do these things and think that it's actually going to work, and it
Yeah.
doesn't. And
Well,
so,
or wonder why it doesn't work.
yes.
In a lot of times when I get messages or comments on, all online dating is a scam, it never works, blah blah blah. Well, no, it does work for me. It works for thousands of people across the world. Is it frustrating? Absolutely. But it's just a tool, so you have to work the tool the best way you know how.
Yeah, like if you were going to a job interview, you
Mm-hmm.
wouldn't post a bad photo, hopefully. You
Mm-hmm.
wouldn't post a resume that says, I'll get back to this. I've worked at some places, just ask me, I'll answer any question. That's
Mm-hmm.
not the way we would conduct ourselves in real life. So think
Mm-hmm.
about, if you were going on a job interview, would you show up in this way?
Mm.
Yes, it can be embarrassing to some people that they're resorting to online dating, but this is the way it is in this world. So let's
Mm-hmm.
accept that online dating is here to stay. It may be frustrating, but
Mm-hmm.
it is a tool. It's just a connection tool. It
Yeah.
connects us to people we would never meet in real life.
Mm-hmm.
So show up. Be that top 3% of people who actually complete their profile. Write something that's
Is it that low?
intelligent. It's very
Wow.
low. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. There's a dating coach for men who talks about the 3% man. This is the man who shows up in a way that it's not that extraordinary. It's that they have courtesy and kindness, and they
Mm-hmm.
know how to treat women well. And, it should be the norm, but it's not. And so
Mm-hmm.
and that's what I do with clients. I help them show up as their best, post the photos that actually will get the right kind of attention,
Mm-hmm.
send messages that are connecting, and say a little bit about yourself and the other person, and with a
Mm-hmm.
question, so we can engage and not just go, yes, I
Yes.
saw your thing, or answer 3 weeks later. I mean, these are little changes that make a big difference.
Yeah. And a lot of times we don't know. It's almost a defense mechanism because you believe that's getting back to what I was just, the people, the messages when you get those. If you don't believe it's going to work, it's not going to work.
Yeah,
And it is a way of wanting to be right. So that's just, you have to, I guess, decide if you know want it to work or not, because you certainly don't have to online date. Absolutely, you do not. Again, it is a tool that absolutely can work. It maybe it will, maybe it won't for you, but it's not a just a scam. You have to know how to, well, recognize the scams, and that's it. Actually, is relatively easy, don't you think?
absolutely. I
Mhm.
mean, fool me once, that's enough usually.
Yeah.
Like there are so many telltale signs. And so
Hmm.
it's not all scammers and losers and liars and married people, and it's got a bad rap, and I think that if you don't view online dating with such negativity
Hmm.
and just see it as that tool, take
Hmm.
away all of the other stuff, you're going to
Hmm.
have much more success and
Yeah.
put the effort in. Because I mean, people hire me all the time to do this work because they were afraid to do it on their own, or they did
Hmm.
it and failed and didn't know why. And it's simple fixes can make a
Yeah.
huge difference.
Yeah. No, I agree. Sandy, that this was fun. And
It
again, I
was.
you know, want to reemphasize we were being sarcastic. I'm also interested in our male comments on this, because both you and I have extensive experience anyway, for certain periods of time, and saw what the men did. But I wonder if there's something we didn't mention today that women do that they don't know, or they need to know. So I'd be interested in hearing that too. Is there anything else you want to add before we close down the segment?
I hope people take this in the light that we meant it to be, that sometimes you just got to laugh, and just pointing out that people do these things and they
Mhm.
don't always understand the repercussions. So we hope that we've woken up a few people who might be doing these things, and we just really want you to succeed.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I couldn't have said it better myself, Sandy. Thank you. We will link to all of your information like we always do. Lastfirstdate.com if you want to work with Sandy directly, and pick up her book, Choice Points in Dating. It's actually a great workbook that will help you get through a lot of the stuff that we talk about today, including writing a profile that will get attention. So again, Sandy, thank you. And I look forward to our next conversation on Second Act TV.